I'm so nervous.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nuuli Forged, our first episode of Campaign 2. Welcome in. Thank you, NYC Zombie, for resubscribing with your Amazon Prime sub. Much appreciated. Thanks for being here. Welcome to Nuuli Forged. We are a 5e actual play stream, and we play in the world of Nuuli, which came out of my brain, and 6 of my friends are brave enough to play in. That's right, we've upgraded. We have a new player. We have a Jeff. He will introduce himself momentarily. Indeed, unfortunately, even though we thought we were going to have everyone tonight, Sarah, who is playing a fun new character, had to bow out for the evening, but we look forward to meeting her character as soon as possible. So we'll have to find out what that's all about at a later date. But in the meantime, let's go around and introduce ourselves. Since this is the first episode, just introduce yourselves, players. Give us a fun little factoid about you, and we will meet your characters as we go forward in the game. It's a game. We're playing a game. Okay. So we've got a new layout. We've got a new order of operations. So it's going to be a fun one. So we're going to start off at the top of this new system here with, at the moment, Matt.
Oh, hello. I am Matt. And I'm playing the game tonight. I guess you'll find out what I'm doing later.
Thanks. You got a
I'm
factoid
back.
for you or no?
I got a factoid for me. I am not camping.
Fair enough. Next up, we've got the illustrious in a new location, Tanner.
Oh, wow. This is soon for me.
Yeah.
I'm
It's a whole new game, baby. Whole new game. Whole
I
new
know.
layout. You all are
Uh,
over here. I'm in the middle under here. We got the map up above me. It's going
Oh,
to be
yeah, we
crazy.
should look out. We should all sign into whatever for views and stuff.
I'm used to going last. I'm Tanner. I'm playing. Oh,
Yeah, hold that secret, but I love the enthusiasm.
a force of habit.
Yeah.
Factoid?
Yeah.
I just moved.
That's a good factoid. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next up, we've got Ember.
Oh,
I'm muted.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Amber, and I am not Greg.
Very true.
That is my
that
fun
is actually
fact.
very sad, to be honest.
No, that's my fun fact.
I was going to say RIP, but Greg still lives.
Kicking.
Could be.
As far as we know.
Yeah. Hard to know, but we'll find out maybe someday. Who knows? Next up, we'll move on down to Mike.
My name is Mike, fun fact. I'm a Scorpio.
Ooh,
Well,
nice. Yeah,
I can see that.
We've got a few of those running around here. Very cool. Wonderful. Thank you. And hopping on down, we have our newest member, our newest player. It's Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Hello. I've known Jared a long time, work friends mainly, but I used to play a lot of role-playing games in college, like 20 years ago. Haven't played much since then, but excited to play again.
It's going to be a great time. And thank you for joining us from the middle of the woods. I love that. Cool.
Yeah, we'll see how long the battery lasts on my computer and phone.
Well, here's hoping. All right. Well, wonderful. Thank you all for being here. My name is Jared. I'm your humble dungeon master here on Nuuli Forged. And with that, we're going to get started. There is no last time to dive into. So this time, we're going to set the scene, as it were. So here we go. Strife has come to the world of Nuuli. Barely 40 years ago, the world suffered its final spellstorm, the violent arcane torrent that resulted from the catastrophic breaking of shards, finally allowing mortals to band together and face the new world. 30 years ago, a group of heroes quietly saved the world from a dangerous entity that would have devastated Nuuli for thousands of years. These heroes gained fame in some small circles upon the continent of Johanna, and though most of Nuuli will never know what they risked, the ripples from that event spread outward unto this day. Cities and nations have begun to rise across the globe. Figures come to power and are beginning to forge legacies and dynasties that will span for centuries. A movement of anti-religious fervor, dubbed the Faithless Crusade, has gained in strength and numbers, building on Johanna and then spreading across the seas to the deserts of Hessian and the timberlands of Sorbonne, rising from a few ridiculed street preachers to a movement of wealthy and well-connected influence. Their claims of the gods' crimes and indifference to the plight of Nuuli has found purchase on the heart of many. Shrines and temples lie empty, services go unattended, and the faithful seek to serve their deities, but gain little guidance from the divine. On top of this, strange happenings are being reported by people from all walks of life. Beggars report that nights, shining with the brilliance of summer, save them from violence. Farmers claim that mischievous spirits steal their wares. The burgeoning nobility claim that they are haunted by their dead rivals. And merchants claim to receive trading tips from the crackle of a fire or the patter of rain. The city of Mendarian has risen to become a bastion of innovation. New thoughts and ideas, new ways of thinking, new creations and philosophies spread across the land like the many bridges that are being built. For Mendarian is nestled on the estuaries of the massive Divide River, and this city is the inspiration of one man who has become known as the Overseer, Carter Voxdarian. A city of bridges indeed it is, for it spans miles of river, joining not only the extremes of the divide, but creating an expansive network of crisscrossing bridges, parks, neighborhoods, all astride the massive torrent that runs beneath them. The city is a shining example of growth and prosperity. And yet, among the light, darkness grows. Criminals have been forced to become smarter and more intelligent and organized. They have become so prosperous that there are rumors that some organizations are even coordinating with each other across continents. Crime is business, after all, and at this stage in Nuuli's development, business is good. And so we descend through this city of bridges, a bright shining beacon on the northernmost tip of Triangle Bay, on the southern coast of Johanna, straddled across the mouth and the estuaries of the powerful Divide River. Wide bridges that span the miles-wide waterways, pylons and little aisles supporting the structures. A tall spire is being constructed upon the middle of the bridges, where the largest intersect and form a sort of plaza. Workers are climbing scaffolding, operating cranes to erect the building even higher, moving materials, shouting orders. Traveling through the plaza, we see shops and sellers, buyers, drunks, taverns, and people of all shapes and sizes. Humans and halflings, those of elvish and orcish descent, dominate most of the populace. But still to be found are gnomes, giantlings, also known as Goliaths, and even a few of those souls touched to or bound by other planes of existence, some elemental and some divine. It is impossible to know the heart of all those within the city, but it seems as though all share, at some base level, an excitement to be here. We leave the markets and the thoroughfares and foot traffic behind, flying up and over and then down towards the expansive docks, also under construction, with numerous ships being built and docked freshly coming in and coming out. Passing through the mast and rigging, our sight ducks under some of the oldest bridges close to the main branch of the divide. Long, dark shadows spread over the river as it lays hidden beneath hundreds of oblivious trampling feet. Mounds of debris and refuse congregate in corners and little puddles. Scavengers attack and swarm the mound, searching for anything they can use. Through the darkness, we come to a dimly illuminated small tavern, built into the structure of a large older bridge, one of the first perhaps. And through the darkness, we come to this tavern with its wooden walkway that's rickety, and it's got nails popping out, and a few figures are leaning on a shoddy-looking railing. A simple sign above the door reads, "The Sand Dollar." And through the old creaky door, we see a dimly lit room, greasy yellow light cast by oil lamps and a few candles, a slight haze drifting through the air from the residue, and it smells of a combination of high tide, stale beer, and body sweat, all fighting with the sweet aroma of pine resin smoldering away in the fireplace on the corner. The main room is sparsely populated, but seems to hold at once a sense of ease and a tension that could be cut by a blade. A few figures by the fire laugh and joke, sharing a cheap beer, while another is slumped over the bar, and the human bartender, a gruff-looking bearded man with a scar across the forehead, ignores the slumped patron and cleans a clay mug, leaning casually against a cask of something. A pair of dark-clad figures sit at a table, mostly hidden and mostly silent. One is masked, while the other is sipping a mug of something. They appear to be waiting on something, or perhaps someone. Eyes occasionally glancing down towards a hallway that leads to an unknown bit of this establishment. The bar is suddenly stabbed by a shaft of light as the front door opens and three strange figures enter the bar, quite obviously for the first time. The first figure, the one who opened the door, appears to be a half-elf in fine regalia, with a strange instrument swung over his side, and a curious star tattoo upon the back of his hand. Mike, would you please describe your character?
Yes. So what you guys see before you is a very young half elf, long blonde hair that falls over his eyes. He is very tall, 6'4". He's wearing an open, flowy shirt underneath his leather jacket. His wrists are adorned with multiple trinkets and bracelets. And like you said, there is a star-shaped tattoo on the back of his right hand, I believe. Check that note. But yes, that's what you see. Oh, and the instrument that he carries is called a yarding, which is a type of guitar.
Wonderful.
And which I will call a guitar for the rest of this campaign, because yarding sounds weird.
Sure, great.
But you have to do it like this.
So you enter this bar first, Mr. Half-Elf. Please, what do you say to one of your companions who comes in as you enter with you? You have your two companions with you. So
right.
You're going to pass it off, and then they're going to pass it off.
Great. Let me look at my notes from our session. Who are you guys? Oh man. Correct me if I'm wrong in how I pronounce this. It's Lunine?
Lunine.
Lunine. All right. So I'll first look to Lunine and say, not a bad place, huh? We can definitely get our start here.
Not a bad place. Big for yourself. Looks like a dump.
Yeah, but a dump ripe for exploitation.
Sure. I'll take your word for it.
look at all these people. They need music. They need life. They need something to dance to, and I'm just a man to deliver.
Lunin's gonna like rub his finger down like the frame of the door and like at the grime of it. It needs to be cleaned.
Indeed, there is now a thick black line of grime of some kind across your fingertips.
He's just gonna like pull out a little handkerchief and just like wipe it off. And he's just going to look to the little one next to him. Is everything always this dirty? Jeff. Next.
And indeed, you look to the elf next to you.
Shall I describe or
Yeah.
roleplay?
I didn't describe. Whoops.
Well, go ahead. Tell us what you look like, Tanner. Lunin.
Lunin is sorry, not used to the beginning of a campaign anymore.
It's been 4 years.
I know.
Yep.
Lunin's about 6 feet tall, very slender, but also at the same time, like he looks like he's been well trained. A like open sleeve green forest vest that's like very fine. Earrings, jewelry, like he has like this black choker around his neck that has like an amethyst pendant hanging from it. Bracelets, and he has like brown leather, kind of like finer shorts that they look nice, but also like very practical. That makes sense. Like they look nice, but they're also like they have use. But then in like this like little half train kind of thing going behind that hangs from his belt that kind of looks like more like leaves, but it's cloth. It only goes down to about his knees.
Wonderful.
It's open in the front and stuff, but and he carries 2 short swords.
Excellent. Thank you, Taco Senmashu, for the follow. Indeed, Lunin, you turn and look to the elf beside you. Jeff, would you please describe your character?
Selenar is short for an elf. Obviously a full-blooded elf, which I imagine is quite rare in this part of the world.
You've seen no others for once you left your homeland, so.
Yeah, so he's short for an elf, looks young. Think like 20-ish in human years. So old enough to have left home, but still young. Short, green eyes, black hair, well-made clothing, but simple and dirty. Obviously, we've been on the road a couple weeks at this point, so I imagine very dusty. Did I say black hair, striking green eyes, and slight build? He is not muscular, not wiry really, but you know, he looks like a nerd because he is. And he just look around, take in the room, and well, this is different.
Indeed.
They're not usual. Got it.
Indeed. You all see this before you, and you have come here based on a flyer that you found.
And remind us what the flyer said.
It was pretty much saying, if you want a job, come here. Let me get you the exact wording.
Come to the Sand Dollar. Inquire within.
Yep.
Short and to the point.
Yes, the flyer was asking for brave souls willing to travel as interest operatives for a fledgling business venture to all corners of Nuuli, and to meet at the Sand Dollar, and it says generous compensation. And big shout out to Chiyo Tanuki for giving us a follow as well. Welcome, thank you. So there's the promise of generous compensation in this questionable looking establishment.
Okay, so I'll look to my companions and say, well, let's head over to the bar and let's talk to the barkeep.
Lead the
And I
way.
walk over. Yeah, I walk over to the bar.
Yeah, you make your way over there without any hassle. A few eyes kind of glance in your direction, but otherwise, you are not hassled in any way. You see this human man with the beard and the scar across his forehead, just kind of like looks at you as you approach.
Lunine's just gonna, as we approach, Lunine's just gonna like lightly push Renato forward a little more.
Selenar definitely floats on the edge of the room, observing, trying to see like if anyone is making any threatening moves or eyeing us in any weird way, or
Go ahead, Selenar, make a perception check.
First one of campaign 2. Come on,
Start us off good.
big numbers.
It's okay. Slap in the middle.
Okay, a 10.
well, I got a +6, so
All right, with a 10, it's hard to make out details because the light is a little wonky, and like that shaft of light from the doorway as it's closing is kind of throwing things off. Your eyes are kind of adjusting between your dark vision and your light vision. The light in here is dim, so you can see everything, but you can't really pick up much of a intent from anybody. Most people seem occupied, minding their own business. A couple people having a drink. A couple people just sharing a table. One guy slumped over the bar, drunk. Or asleep. Hard to tell. But you don't see anybody, like, pulling out a dagger or anything like that as you enter.
well, I'm definitely not going to be the first person to engage here, so
Yeah, as you're doing this the scan of the room, Lunine has shoved Renata towards the bartender.
Hello, barkeep.
He just grunts at you.
I grunt back. Whiskey.
He nods, and kind of his eyes dart to your two companions.
I got an answer for you guys.
Lunine's just looking at you, expecting you to like handle it for him.
Okay. Kind of fancy. So, a glass of wine.
You can see the bartender arches an eyebrow, but otherwise doesn't respond. And then looks over towards the full-blooded elf standing in his bar for probably the first time.
Probably also a glass of wine. No. No, I take that back. He comes from a working family. Get him a beer. Good lager. Family's blue collar, so yeah, let's go with that. Give this man a lager.
So the barkeep turns around for a minute and plops a small glass of whiskey that's like got two fingers in it. And like a not really a goblet of wine, but like a tall like tin cup and a clay tankard of some sort of ale or lager. And he looks and he says, 7 silver for the lot.
And I, in return, shall toss him a gold coin. Keep the change. By the way,
He catches
you know
it
there's
in the
a
middle of the
flyer
air
outside.
and it disappears.
That was kind of sick. Anyway, notice a flyer outside. I want to inquire what this job is.
He looks over at a empty table and points to it, indicating that you should sit there.
I'll take 3 drinks, hand them off to my colleagues, and nod and say thank you. And I'll head over to the table.
Okay. Do the other 2 of you join him at the table?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is alcohol common in elf culture?
Yeah. Wine is popular,
It's universal.
but so are spirits and beer. It's just kind
Okay,
of
great.
the taste.
And so it's not a foreign thing.
It's not foreign.
There's probably
it
different
is.
brands, more or less.
That's okay.
The kind of interesting thing about alcohol from your culture, where you come from, though, is while it does exist, it's not like an excess that people have, and it is surprisingly not as popular as tea is. Your culture has whole like a whole culture around tea. Like there's different ceremonies and different kinds of tea for different occasions, and etc. etc. So that part of your culture is very different to this sort of thing, but alcohol is not foreign to you.
Okay. I walk up to the table, choose a spot where there isn't so many people behind me, behind Selenar, sorry, and I take the whiskey glass.
That one's mine. But I recall you telling me so much about your family. I got you this nice lager here.
A suitable substitute. I'll take the beer.
Looney's just
And
gonna
I got
look down at the
you,
bars.
Lunine, a nice glass of wine. I figured that'd be right up your alley.
Looney's just gonna look at it.
I feel like I can really read people well, but you guys let me know.
Yeah, in this hazy light, the wine it looks to be of a dark color, so it's probably a red, and it is in this kind of like tin pseudo goblet. It's like got a stem, but it's more like just a cup that was like soldered on top instead of like a shaped goblet.
Right.
Yeah.
Looney's just gonna kind of cringe at it and take it, and then also like look down at the sheets and cringe again, and just. I hope we don't have to be here too long.
Indeed, as you take a seat, these chairs are rough but suitable. They're not fancy, they're not padded, they're mismatched. A lot of the tables seem to have like splices of like planks of wood that are over the tops or the bottoms that are like keeping it together because they've been broken before. The entire area of this room does seem to be clean, but not well maintained. And you can see that there's a hallway down the side by the small fireplace that's presumably leads to either an office or a privy or something like that. But it's kind of set back inside of what you assume would be where the like structure of the bridge is, because again, this tavern is built into like the underside of a bridge. So it seems to go back a little bit farther than the facade would indicate. As you sit there for a moment or two, we're going to transition to another table. We see a masked figure sitting at a table, very quietly, not saying much, while a human is drinking from a tankard. Both seem to be comfortable in this establishment. Matt, would you please describe your character?
So, names too, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Corvus is wearing like mostly black clothing. Perhaps at one point it was like true black, but it's a bit faded and worn. You can see some patches if you look carefully enough, and sort of a basic leather armor on top of that again looks a little like patched together. Maybe perhaps he's found different pieces or hand-me-downs that he's had to sort of piece together. And around his neck is a big like cowl and hood that he's pulled back. He's got plain black hair. It's a human, sorry, I forgot that part. Plain black hair, a little short, not like in the military short, but he doesn't let it get too long, otherwise it'd get too hot under the hood. And pretty just like normal human features. He's pretty vanilla as his characters go. Not unattractive, but not like super hot. Just sort of a person.
They're tentacles.
And he's sitting there quietly, sort of like sipping a beer and scanning the room. And every now and then he might look over to his compatriot across the table.
Yes. Which, speaking of, Amber, would you please describe your character?
Well, what you've got here is a halfling. You know it's a halfling because it's pretty short. They've got lanky black hair. They have about around shoulder length. Not really a hairstyle so much as it's there. They have on a mask, half face, bird beak mask, and they seem to be like sipping under it something somehow. They're wearing blackish, brownish, fabric-y clothes, just whatever seems to be around. It's in good repair, as in it's been patched many times and sewn together and all that kind of stuff. It is well worn and well taken care of. And they seem to be very comfortable. But Ozo is just sort of looking around. La 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 la. Paying attention, but not in a very active way. Sort of letting it all happen. And yeah. They're just chatting amicably and zoning out.
And you two see this entrance of this party of three, and you hear their conversation from the one with the musical instrument at the bar, and you watch them sit at a table not too far away from yours, because all the tables are pretty close by here. But this group is definitely interesting, and Corvus, you have been informed by Cash that he has been looking to hire some new help for a project.
Did he give me, he was very explicit in our last mission. Did he give me anything else to go on, like they will sit at this table?
So you didn't get anything specific in that regard. You did get a specific in that it is a venture that he is interested in having you take a lead position in, out of town. Sort of a traveling position.
Interesting. So we watch them walk in, and it probably goes without saying that they stand out a bit.
They are not the normal clientele here, it's true. And they're not any of the regulars who are not affiliated either.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a moment and just sort of study them, watch what they do, as they sip their drinks, but like kind of casually observe them.
Sure.
Well, less casual. I'm actually like watching them.
Cool. Would you like to make an insight or a perception check?
Yeah, let's do perception.
Great. Let's do it. Ho, and a 20 off the bat for Corvus.
It's not my first roll, technically, which was a natural one.
Well, yes, but in the main campaign, this is it. So, with a 20, you see these three individuals as all described. What stands out to you amongst them individually? The partially elvish-looking one, the half-elvish-looking one with the two swords strapped to his hips. He's got this weird, these weird branches or something. You don't know if it's a headdress, but they seem to be around the crown of his skull, like a crown or a headdress or a band or whatever. And his hair is a very odd color. He at least
Forgot about that.
Yeah, that's all right. He has a presence that clings to him that is unlike anyone you've ever met, except for two people who played a prominent role in your life: your parent and Cash. There's something about this individual with a 20 that you notice in the way he bears himself that is just different enough to mark him as something else.
Also, I forget, he also, he has normal skin color, but, think vitiligo, but it's like a light, natural green color all over his body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Green.
Yeah, and the
Medicine check. I'm just kidding.
the very charming individual next to him with the long kind of blonde hair, you can easily see the calluses on the fingertips that come from playing an instrument as he drinks his whiskey. And you can also see that he is, as he drinks his whiskey, that tattoo reveals itself. And there's something weird about that tattoo as well. It doesn't seem like it's magical, but it seems significant because it is prominently placed and it's a very intricate original design. It seems to have musical notation as well as being in the shape of a star. It's interesting.
Where was that again? I'm sorry.
On his right hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I see it as his sleeve sort of slides back.
Yeah, kind of as he lifts the glass to drink from it, you can see the back of his hand. And you notice the drawing is...
Does it look like a red crow?
No, it doesn't look avian at all, unfortunately.
Just kidding.
Just like a star with maybe a musical notation in it, maybe it's a clef or a musical note or something like that. It's a little... You're not a musician, but you know it's musical. The third individual at that table definitely stands out to you, as you have never seen a person like this before. You've seen many people of elvish descent and of varying degrees and whatnot. But this is obviously a full-blooded elf. You've never seen one in your life, and the only place where these people are supposed to live is the Verdentious Causeway, hundreds of miles up at the start of the Divide River. You've seen like elven goods be traded and sold in the marketplace, and you've heard stories around at various bars and whatever, kind of talking about how weird the elves are up there, how they don't ask questions, but they talk about everything forever. And they're obsessed with tea and all these like weird, crazy stories. They don't like people in their woods, but they've allowed them to set up a trading post. But you gotta go through like all this rigmarole to get there. It's weird. With a 20 on this individual, you get the sense that he is not a trader. It looks more like he comes from, or like he's accustomed to work, and he seems strangely at ease in this sort of semi-nautical establishment in a weird way. But that is what you get on a 20 perception check. You also see that while they all carry some sort of weaponry, the elf is carrying a staff primarily, kind of leaned up against the table. The bard seems to have a blade of some kind. But the two short swords on the one with the hair and the crown, the wood, the branches, whatever you want to call them, those swords are interesting. There's something about the hilts and the blade that don't match anything you've ever seen before.
Full stop.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna let some time go by just to make sure they're not meeting anyone else.
Yeah. Do you want to share your sightings with your compatriot, or are you keeping it to yourself?
Oh no, I think Ozo might be in one of those spells where they're just zoning out a little bit. So I'll sort of like tap my mug until they notice me. Hey.
Huh?
Did you see those three come in? Over there by that table.
Yeah, of course I saw them. They came in.
You ever seen them before?
No. Have I? No.
Never.
Sorry, that wasn't. I didn't mean to.
We honestly hadn't had that discussion, but probably not. No. Am I supposed to have?
No, I don't think they don't look like they belong here. I've never seen them before, and
I mean, yeah, you would know, right?
Can I roll a perception to try to see if I notice them talking about us and giving us weird looks over their shoulder, hoping we don't notice?
What's your passive perception?
A lot.
Damn it! We have another one of those.
I'll
I
take
have
his
a
word
plus
at it.
6. I don't know what you mean by passive, but I have a plus 6.
So passive.
So it would be 16.
16 then. Yeah, because it's just 10
Okay.
plus your perception score. Cool.
It's not bad.
16, yeah.
So, Corvus, I assume that you are trying to keep this conversation quiet between you and Ozo.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, we both sort of bumble.
Yeah, go ahead. Just make a deception check for me.
Okay.
So 13. So Selenar, you do indeed hear, just barely, you hear this conversation between these two individuals at a table just behind you.
Dang.
Okay, so I listen in, but mostly I'm trying to determine if they're friendly. Like, should I go over there and just be like, hello? Sort of.
Through that conversation that you overhear, and you kind of cock your eyes that way and get a glimpse of them, they seem interested in you, especially the human seems interested, but does not make a move to approach you. And it is at this moment, as you are taking in the fact that you have been studied, basically, by this duo behind you, that a new figure you see walks out from the little hallway that kind of leads somewhere off by the fireplace. A figure tall and thin, but clad in black with a cloak and a hood that's pulled up like over their face. You have no idea how they can see where they're going because it's pulled over so much that you can't see their eyes. But this individual walks straight towards you. The only bit of color you can see is this very fantastic bejeweled pin that is on the outside of his clothing, like a cloak clasp or a hood or whatever those are, like a brooch. Set with multiple gems. And he pulls out the fourth chair at your table and sits down. The cloak seems to billow behind him as it settles to the ground very slowly. And all you see of his face is this kind of like faded gray skin and a giant smile that seems much wider than it should be, and teeth that, while not pointed like goblinoid teeth or canine teeth or vampiric fangs or anything like that, they are almost nail-like, like very even rows of like sharp pointed teeth that are thinner than they should be. But the smile widens and says, "Greetings, you three, I hear, have come in response to my flyer, yes?"
That's right.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm looking for a group of stalwart, seasoned, high-experienced folks to look after some interest in a fledgling business venture of mine, all across Nuuli, starting a little bit locally, but I'm building out, you see.
How do I feel about this guy?
Make an insight check.
Yeah, can I do that too?
You absolutely can.
I'm trusting him full-heartedly.
Also a valid choice.
Alright.
Full-heartedly?
All right, Nereus, calm down. 18.
I don't see my rolls in Roll20, but I hope you see them.
You have to get a.
Yep, I
It's
see
like a
it.
VTT link.
If you roll them in D&D Beyond, though, Jared can see them.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I joined, but I must have done it on my computer at home.
Probably.
like a-
I don't think the mobile pushes, so
Yeah.
because you have to have the D&D Beyond installed in like the browser to get it to push. So
Yeah,
It's
basically it's
a-
a Chrome extension that bridges the two, so
Yeah.
D&D Beyond works.
I
though
will
Jared's-
eventually get it hooked up on my laptop because I do travel and will be playing remote a lot. So
yeah.
But
You
for
got
now,
a
let's just
17 and an 18.
Damn, figured them out.
Wonderful. So you get the sense that this individual is not telling you lies. He is being honest about what he needs, but you get the sense he's not telling you like the whole story at this moment in time. But he's not like, "Oh, I want you to deliver a bomb for me." You don't get that kind of vibe.
I appreciate someone who can keep their things close to their chest, but you're gonna need to know more than that.
Of course. And you see the head swivels to you, and you feel like the eyes behind that like low-dipped hood are somehow staring directly at you. Anything
So,
for
while
a
this is
friend from
happening-
out of town. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Cash. You can call me Cash. And quite simply, I have a shipment that I need to get to another city, and you will be handsomely rewarded. I have an employee or 2 or 3 of my own that I basically need to buff up the escort, as it were.
What's the shipment?
Fine rugs.
All right, I'm gonna insight check that one because
Go for
Is it Renata doing the talking? I'm sorry, I don't know which character is which.
we all are. You know, we're all on the table. So.
Yeah, Lunine asked
Well, you're doing
a
most of
question,
the talking.
and Renata does it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't
So
want to
I'm.
steal the conversation. So
Am I sitting next to Renata?
Yep.
Can I touch his leg under the table and cast guidance to give him a buff?
Ooh.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
I get a little
Just,
shiver.
just a gentle caress of the inner thigh.
Do you consent? That's the important question.
I mean, it could, you know, I'm trying to help you, help us, help you.
So you do have a
That is
D4.
good,
You
that is
can
good.
roll on top of that 17 if you would like.
Yeah. Boom. 21.
Nice.
Deal with it,
very
sucker.
nice.
You've been so incited.
Yeah. You see that this individual is exceptionally charming, and you got a 21, you say.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. So, you get the sense that when he says fine rugs, he is 100% telling the truth.
I'll be damned. And I'll look to Lunine and I'm sorry, Jeff. Is it Selenar? Right.
Yep.
Selenar. So
Yep.
I'll look to these two and be like, "Yeah, I believe him. It's 100% rugs of the finest quality."
I would deal in nothing else.
So you want us to help deliver this shipment from this city to where?
Well, let's, if you are interested in the arrangement, I will have you meet with my my representatives on the matter. And we'll get you all on the same page right at the start. What do you say? Are you in?
I'm willing to talk about it.
One.
Suppose.
Yeah, we're foot still in the door.
Excellent. And you see the figure raises a hand and makes a beckoning motion. And Corvus, you immediately know that you and Ozo are being summoned by Cash.
I whispered Ozo, "We're up."
And you see 2 figures approach your table. One is a fairly nondescript looking human, and the other is a halfling that has this beaked mask on the lower portion of their face. Allow me to
I can see why
introduce...
you need the help.
Don't let looks deceive you. But it's always good when sending people far and wide, where anything could happen, to beef up security a bit, you know? Please allow me to introduce Ozo, indicating the halfling, and my little cousin, Corvus, indicating the human.
Corpus nods.
I suppose an exchange of names would be ideal here. So I am Renata Soul Angel, the one and only.
Renata.
Just-
Pleasure to meet you.
Right. I'm Lunine.
Lunine. Interesting, but of course you are. It makes the most sense in the world for that to be your name, doesn't it?
Lunine's just gonna squint his eyes. at Cash.
We don't get too many finely bred folk down this way, so it's a pleasure to meet you, of course.
Yes.
So in the conversation that Mateo's character, I forget the name already, I wrote it down, Corvus and Ozo are having behind us, were there any questions that they were having about elves in general?
No, not
Basically
particularly.
Okay. So,
Like, you definitely heard Corvus say that, like, it's a full-blooded elf. I've only heard of them. I've never seen one. He said something along those lines, but...
sure. Alright, so Celadar, and yes, I am and turning to Corvus, yes, I am a full-blooded elf, and I haven't seen a lot of us down this way either. Maybe that might change someday.
Corvus just sort of makes a face, like,
Basically, I just want to let him know that I was listening to their conversation.
I'm gonna, like, look sideways at Ozo and look back. Say nothing.
About what?
No, I mean,
Did you
I say nothing.
You
I
say
don't
nothing.
anything.
Like, what? Ozo is not understanding what you're saying.
We're a well-oiled machine that's been together for quite some time.
Yeah, a few weeks, gasp.
Well,
Total pros.
we all can hope that more elves show up, because more elves means more people, which means more customers, which means more rug sales. So, I am all for expansion and friendly marketeering, as it were. Now, dear comrades, basically, this shipment is ready to be picked up from a local merchant. A local merchant named named Paul Huss. Paul Huss. Huss? I would think it's Huss.
Is that the guy we traveled with?
Yes, we know that man.
Ah, well, fortunate events have never been more clear that this is a job designed for you. Indeed, the pickup is arranged and scheduled for the morning. Payment has already been taken care of, so you don't need to carry any large sums of money and worry about being pickpocketed or anything like that. You just need to pick up the shipment, transport it to a small holding facility near the docks until it can be loaded on the proper ship. The moss-eaten mold, as it were. It is under the stewardship of one Captain Kevin Saltcrust. Quite a reliable figure, from all I understand. I do not believe the captain is currently docked, but hopefully will be so on the morrow. If not, you'll just sort of have to wait with the shipment until he gets into port. Now, once it is loaded, you will then board the moss-eaten mold and travel with the shipment to Cliffside, which is on the far western side of the continent. So it would be a fun seafaring venture with who knows what, a proper swashbuckling, and who knows, maybe an adventure or two along the way. Now, once you arrive in Cliffside... Those damn dogs. Somebody do something about those dogs! Once you arrive
What dogs?
in
Huh?
Cliffside, there's some strays outside. You get used to them. You must deliver it to a gnomish merchant named Brando Parcelhopper. He's waiting for them. He's the proprietor of Good Homes and Warrens, which is a bit of a furnishing store. You can find it in the Spraycatch neighborhood.
I'm sorry, which neighborhood?
The Spraycatch.
Breakdown.
Yes, it's one of
Yeah, I
the
thought
it's
the
one of the
same
middle levels, I think. It'll make sense once you're there, I'm sure.
Selenar would take these notes too, in character.
Yeah. You can all write down all this stuff. Indeed. I have informed my lovely younger cousin here, Corvus, exactly where these detailed locations are. Thank you, Haley Stoker, for the follow. Thank you very much. So he has all of the details. He knows where the small holding facility is for the docks. So, if you are of an accord, we can sign the payment agreements, yes?
Yes. Yes, let's do it.
Wonderful. And from his cloak, he produces a series of 3 contracts, one for each of you, that are very straightforward. They say upon successful completion of this mission, you will be awarded 75 gold pieces each.
Seems like a lot of money. Probably more money than Selenar's ever seen in his life.
Yeah, it is a lot of money. Inside the contract, there is a little note that you must, like part of your duties on this is aiding Corvus in whatever he needs you to do, follow his directions. Any help you can give him must be given for him to complete his objectives. Until such a time as when Corvus deems the mission a success. Or the errand a success.
No pressure.
So you're the captain, huh?
Indeed, it is time my little cousin step up and take a few reins. I have nothing but the utmost faith in him. Now, does this seem amenable to all of you?
Corvus nods. One
It's a
time.
bit vague, but I suppose it'll do for now.
Well, it's hard to call out details when I don't know what lay between here and there, you know? Pretty much get the shipment there, aid Corvus in whatever he needs, and once he says, we're good, you will be getting paid. Quite a hefty sum. And, of course, if you wish to further your employment upon that course, I have many flourishing, branching, burgeoning businesses all across Nuuli that I'm working on, and I'm sure a successful group such as yourself can find employment herein.
I mean, for me, it's money and travel, so it's starting to look like a world tour for me.
Money and travel is definitely something I can offer you, my dear friend Renato.
Is this guy a human that's talking to us?
So it's hard to tell. Again, the only real part of his body you see is like the lower portion of his face, which has like a very gray skin tone to it, and that strange smile with those very weird teeth.
And there's no, like, I don't know what he is, right?
Not off the top of your head.
Okay. Then I just...
But he keeps calling the human his cousin.
Mostly.
Yeah. He keeps calling the human his cousin, so.
I do the slightest eye roll the first time he says it to everyone.
Now, please, do you all sign the contract?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to? Or am I already in this?
You're already in. You're all good, and you two are taken care of. So the 3 of you
I'll
sign.
give it a shrug.
Wonderful. You
I
sign.
don't sign first, but I would sign.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll sign first.
All right. Renata signs his copy. Selenar, Lunine. The contracts are then folded up, and he kind of like waves his hand, and they kind of disappear into the cloak somehow. Wonderful. Well, as a show of good faith and appreciation, please enjoy another round at the bar on me. I just need to have a quick chat with my dear cousin here. Corvus, won't you please accompany to my office?
Corvus nods.
I would like to.
Mhm.
Take one of the seeds out of my pocket and I would like to place it into Corvus's pocket discreetly.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check. What is your passive perception, Corvus?
Mine's not nearly as high as the elves. It's only 14.
Okay.
Do I
LTP.
notice? I would be watching Corvus leave,
It's true.
trying
so
to
does
tell
watch me.
if I'm
What-
supposed to.
What is your passive perception as well?
13.
Cool.
Yeah, you both see it.
You both see Lunine attempt to slip something into Corvus's pocket, and Corvus, you grab the hand and pull it up, and you see a seed between the fingers.
I just
I'm
looked
embarrassed.
back.
I am so embarrassed.
It's for good luck.
I'll
From my
take-
world.
Thanks.
Do I know what the seed is supposed to be for?
Nope. Just looks like a regular seed to you.
I'm assuming Cash has walked on at this point.
Cash is a few steps ahead of you, but is turned expectantly looking at you because he notices this interaction.
In the moment, I quickly put it in one of my pouches I have on my breast strap. I don't know what you'd call it.
Bandolier.
And yeah, bandolier, sure, if you want to sound fancy. And then I'll catch up with Cash.
Cool. So you two disappear down the corner. Short hallway, open a door at the end, and it leads into a small office that you know to be Cash's, which has a few books and scrolls and a desk and a table. As soon as the door closes, you see that Cash opens up that pocket on your bandolier, reaches in, picks out the seed, opens the doorway about an inch, and flicks it down the hallway, and closes the door. Now, cousin, you can't be too careful with people like that.
What was that?
I don't know, but people who are touched in that way, generally trying to put stuff on you, is something you should avoid.
Well,
I'm sure he means no harm and is only curious, but since he's unknown, we don't want any untowered information getting out, do we?
fair enough.
Now, Corvus, do be seated.
Corvus seated.
Now, Corvus, my dear cousin, I need you to do something a little extra while you are visiting Cliffside. I know that you are loyal beyond all things to our little family here, and that you know the inherent value of the price. The truth is that while I do value this valid business venture as much as the next person ever would, I value fidelity above all, even coin. And right now there are reports that we are experiencing a dearth of that commodity from Cliffside. As you know, I have been working hard to expand our reach beyond this bustling metropolis, and I thought I had instilled there a commander aligned to my vision. But it seems that his loyalty is in truth lacking, and I would like to investigate the reality of this situation and take whatever steps are necessary to secure loyalty, whatever the price. Our main operations base in Cliffside is located in a shop called Calamine's Lotions, in the Spray Catch, so not too far off from where you're delivering the rugs. The leader of the cell that I left in charge is a halfling man named Darren Dandyfoot. He is an exceptional thief, but that does not mean he is not dangerous. Nor is he without his own sort of charm. Get yourself in and access his loyalty and assess his loyalty for yourself. But perhaps making your true allegiance known at the start may be unwise. I trust you to get in and out without being noticed, using subterfuge and guile as you are so apt at, and your not so unremarkable skills of entry and exit. If it is true that he has betrayed me, betrayed us, I leave it to you to remedy the situation and instill someone worthy in that position. Kill him or not, but remember everyone has their price, and the price must be paid. I trust you implicitly on this errand, little cousin. Are you up for it? Can you lead this ragtag band of whatevers and ensure our dominance in Cliffside?
Corvus will think for a moment and look down at his feet and look back and say, of course.
The smile widens again. I knew I could count on you. And he clasps your arm and gives it a shake and then pats your shoulder. Now, you have some crew to get on the good side of, so you should go join them before they get antsy.
So what, I wrote down a bunch of notes. When are we to make for the ship for Captain Silcrest in the morning?
Yes, you pick up the shipment of rugs tomorrow. And then the my hope is that Captain Kelvin arrives sometime tomorrow and you can load the ship. But if not, just take it to the holding facility near the docks and wait until the ship arrives. And then get it on as quick as you can, and off on your adventures you go. And do be careful. I hear that the seas between here and there can be full of monsters and pirates and who knows what else. So,
I'm sorry, out of character. I'm going to assume that other little details of the minutia of the of this job, I'll just ask you about, but we'll assume that I know it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the Corvus will say, well, I suppose one more round tonight at the Sand Dollar couldn't hurt.
It never does.
See if we can get to know each other. And then we'll be off in the morning.
Yes. Get to know your comrades, for you will be in charge of this little mission. And remember, get on their good side. Use your charm and your wit. I know you have it. And don't let go of them until everything is accomplished.
Anything that you know about them, or are these completely random people?
Never met them before today.
Fair enough.
That way, there's plausible deniability in case anything goes wrong with them.
Corvus makes a little, tiny grimace and says, I understand.
No, don't give me that. I know that you're averse to... Well, I'm just going to say it. You're averse to murder. And I don't blame you for that. It's a messy business. I would much rather be above board, or at least have my dealings be non-violent. Have I not only sent you on investigative missions, retrieving documents, and you've only had to ever fight for your own defense? You are not an assassin, but you are capable of defending yourself and using your judgment.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. And
I don't think you'll need to murder these people. They don't strike me as... Well... Two of them don't strike me as though they are hiding much.
I noticed that too.
The one with the swords... He's got tricks. He's not far off the relationary tree, I think.
Corvus just raised an eyebrow, but I'll keep an eye on him.
I'm sure it's innocent, but I've seen those swords before. Not those exact swords, but that style. And if he's from where they are from, he could be trouble, especially under a full moon, so keep your eye on that.
Anything I should know?
Hopefully not. But if you do learn anything of import, of course I want to know.
Stepping out of character for a moment.
Yeah.
Once I get, I think I'd asked you about this, but I don't know if we've established this as canon. Is there any sort of like messaging system that the Thieves Guild might have established outside of like people? I'm talking like, do we send messages like via birds to certain places, like pigeon?
Yeah, so there are a few things. Cash is very careful, so he tends to, if he has to like send long distance messages, he sends them either with a courier that he trusts and knows, or he uses magic somehow. He has access to people who have magics that allow the transmission of messages. And you know that he has at least a couple devices that are called sending stones, but you don't know who has the other ones. So
is it like a party line sort of thing with this, or would I even know that?
You wouldn't know the details, but you know that he has many of them, so that makes it seem like they're in sets of some kind.
Copy. Okay. So, if I needed to, do you want, what am I trying to say? I'll return with words of our exploits, so should I send a message ahead before we get back on the ship returning to Madarian?
Of course. There should be, providing they are loyal, someone in Cliffside who can accommodate that. We have a communicative magic user there that we trust with coded messages.
I'm gonna assume.
Look for Shayrar's Divinatorium.
Okay, I'm writing that down. In the meantime, I think I'm gonna wrap this up with Cash. Say, we'll be in and out before you know it.
Excellent.
Nod and make my exit to the bar.
And you exit the office. Meanwhile, at the bar, the four of you are having a little drink together. What, if anything, are you all doing?
So, upon Cash and Corvus leaving, I would say to the group, well, he did say a drink is on him, so let's go to the bar. Should I get the same for everyone?
Whiskey this time, please.
Whiskey
The
for
same
Eleanor.
as what?
Were you drinking something?
Oh, I mean, sometimes.
Would you like a drink right now? You know what? Yes, you will.
Oh,
You seem like a lot of fun.
okay.
I got you. I know exactly what to get you. And Lunine. One. And I lean into Lunine and be like, don't embarrass me like that, man. Like, we don't just drop seeds in people's pockets. Not a thing. Anywhere.
Which, Lunine, as far as you know, that seed still ended up in his little pouch.
Yeah, I know. Lunine, like a minute after they left, he kind of just, kind of tuned into it and realized what happened.
Yeah,
kind of huffed.
You tune into the seed, and you, do you? Is it auditory or is it visual as well?
That one specifically is auditory.
Okay.
Cool.
You hear the sounds of a rat gnawing on you.
Cool. So then, indeed, you just hear the kind of low din of the bar, kind of muffled, as though it's like, you get the sense it's not in the pocket anymore.
Yeah, clever.
Well, Lunine, are you still working on that wine? You want something else?
Oh, Lunine hasn't even touched it. It's beneath them.
Cool. Still nursing the wine. I'll head to the bar. I'll tell the barkeep there. Hey, that gentleman over there, Corvus, he says the next round is on him. I would like your 3 most expensive whiskeys, please.
You see, he puts out 3 glasses. He reaches behind and grabs the same bottle that you were drinking before and pours 3 of them. Puts it back on.
This is Jeff's kind of bar. Typically not seminar. This guy.
Oh, listen,
There's
I
no
love the
top
dive
shelf, there's no
bar.
bottom shelf, there's just a shelf. That's it.
Yeah.
He looks behind
I
him,
would
looks
think
at
it.
you, and raises an eyebrow.
Got it. Already got the good stuff going on. Love it. Thank you. Take the 3 glasses back to the table. Pass it to Selenar, Ozo, myself. Well, while we wait for the other guy to come back, cheers to this new work friendship. And I raise my glass.
Do I know this tradition? I would assume so by now. We've been traveling together for a bit.
Yeah, you've definitely seen people toast and cheers before.
Okay,
Follow my lead.
happy to clink. Is this whiskey terrible by Elvish standard?
This whiskey is very burny. The heat, it's very burny and very like peaty. So you get the sense that like the ingredients are trying to mimic a better whiskey, but not succeeding at it.
Sure, so I take...
It's not the worst you've
cheers.
ever had, but it's very like... It's lower mid-range is where I would say it is.
So I'm just looking to make an offhanded comment that this whiskey leaves something to be desired, much like this establishment.
It's an acquired taste. It really is.
Much like this establishment.
Much like this establishment.
Here's to tomorrow, where we will be somewhere else.
Yeah, cheers. Clink, clink.
And
Looney.
then I lean into... Gotta look at the
Lunin
character name again.
will participate in the toast and then kind of like leave his goblet in front of Renato.
It's a Renata.
Renata.
Do you
Renata.
do you taste the wine when you cheers, or do you just clink?
No. No.
Okay. Just asking.
One spitting, twice shy.
No.
Oh god.
Okay.
Ozo will bring it to their lips, take a tiny little sip, turn and get a little vial out of a side pocket and pour it in very carefully and stopper it up.
I'm watching Ozo do this. Like this is so strange. And then I'll say, so Ozo, right?
Mhm.
Tell us about yourself.
My name's Ozo. I take care of people and sometimes animals. Yeah.
Is
Alright.
Ozo clearly uncomfortable talking with us?
Make an insight check.
Yeah, do an insight check on Ozo.
Oh my god,
Make
not,
him nervous.
too bad I just accidentally opened Vectorworks.
Oh no.
Right next to Firefox.
Draft us
bar.
an
All
insight
right.
check. Real
Yeah,
quick.
draft you an insight check with my 8% battery.
Make it well lit.
You'll make it to the first bio break.
Cool. With a 24, I leave it to you, Ozo. What does Selenar get the sense of in terms of Ozo interacting with this group of individuals here?
You just get the sense that they're not sure what that question means, how to answer it. Like,
So I immediately. What was the
Like-
question? I'm sorry. Out of character. What was
Tell
the
us
question?
about yourself.
So I immediately just. When I realize that Ozo doesn't know what the question means, I immediately answer it to Ozo as if it was asked to me. So I describe where I guess you don't know anything about Selenar. So Selenar is from the northern part of the causeway, lived on the river, grew up in a family that was hands-on. My father built boats for fishing on the river, and blah blah blah. Like deliberately trying to show you what kind of information we're looking for, but in a comfortable way. I've
That
never
sounds
talked with a
really
halfling
cool.
before. I realize that elves are rare around here. Maybe you haven't seen one of us before, and this is a mutually interesting encounter because I want to know more about your people in general. As I imagine you would like to know more about my people in general, and I'm happy to share. Sort of interaction.
Oh, cool. I've never been up there.
Not many
I have a
people have.
grandma.
It is at this point where
You have a
Corvus returns to the group. And as Corvus, you return, you hear the tail end of this elf be saying that he is willing to
Life
share
story.
whatever chat people want, and Ozo responding in a typical Ozo fashion, unsure of what to do. And that is where we are going to take our break. We're going to take a little 5-minute bio break here. So we will return after this short rest. Thank you all for the follows. Thank you all for sticking with us on this first round. We will be back in 5 minutes. So we'll see you then. Enjoy the new character cards. Hello, everyone. We are back. Thanks for sticking with us through a short bio break. So we are picking up. The entire group has returned. Corvus has come from his little meeting with Cash. So we are back in the Sand Dollar. Corvus has just heard Selenar explain that he would be happy to share whatever information about his people if others were willing to also share information about their people. And this is Corvus when you return to the group.
Well, that would be awesome, actually. At the risk of sounding unprofessional, I'll be honest. I'm not very good at talking to people, and I don't know anything about you. And considering we're going off tomorrow together on a mission, I'd really like to know what I should know. What are you good at? What are you bad at? We'll start with that one, and then I'll point at Mike since he would talk. In the middle,
But I'll tell you what I'm good at, and I'll swing my guitar around, and I'll start strumming a few notes.
Make a performance check.
He's great at Guitar Hero.
in the middle of this, I would like to nod to the bartender and maybe we've established some sort of give me my regular when I give you this symbol.
Yeah, well, by the time that you hit the table and turn to the bartender, you pretty much put your hand out, and he has walked around the bar and shoves a clay mug into your hand.
I'll flick a coin to tip him.
Yeah, he, without looking behind him, catches it and makes it disappear in his hand.
Sorry, you were saying.
Playing. Renata brings out this guitar and lets out a few sick licks, or whatever Renata wishes to perform.
Kind of not too over the top. I still want to be low key. I don't want to come in strong. I want it to build up. So it's an energy, right? So it's just a couple of notes spaced apart, and then they start to connect a little more, and it starts to turn into more of a tune.
Before you know it, he's strumming hot cross buns, and it's fantastic.
I was thinking Wonderwall.
I was thinking Wonderwall too.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Well, objectively, with a 13, I mean, it's above average, right? He can play.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, he can play. It's not bad. It's enjoyable.
A momentary, quizzical look crosses Corvus's face, and then he straightens it out, and he's like, anything else? I mean, sorry, I said that weird. Anything else?
Yeah. This one reminds me of you. And I'll start playing a more goth-like tune. Like a dirge almost. A funeral song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between you and Ozo, you guys have a look.
I look
like you're attending a black parade.
I look at Ozo and I look back at him and I go, You do know what we do, right? Maybe not. We'll get to that.
Yeah, you work for your uncle.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
something.
I don't. Well, is not my
He's
uncle.
not our uncles. It's we'll explain later. Okay. I didn't hate that. I didn't mean another song, but noted. Okay, next. And then I'll point to who's
Like
next.
that. Noted. And I play a note.
That was an accident. Who's standing next to Mike's character?
Wait, I'm sorry. While I was playing, did anyone else in the bar notice? Anyone else in the tavern kind of look towards my way?
Yeah, a couple heads popped up. That drunk figure over the bar hasn't stirred. But the two close to the fire, turn their head for a minute and kind of go, not bad. And kind of go back to their
music is normally a Thursday thing, I say with like a straight face. That was a
Well,
joke.
for me, it's every day. Ba-da-ba-dum.
Eldar is definitely uncomfortable with the "he's not my uncle" comment. To me, that says that evil man is lying to us, right?
As I don't know who's standing next to Renata. Is it Selenar? Is it Jeff's character?
I think
Imagine they're both on either side of me. So
yeah, he's in the middle.
I mean, I would have turned my attention to some of. Do I notice Jeff's? Do I notice Selenar's discomfort?
Make an insight check. And
Not very good at these with this character, so this will be
and
interesting.
Selenar, go ahead. Well, let's roll you a deception.
I mean, I'm just going to say something about it. If it makes sense for Selenar to speak next, he's just going to say, "What do you mean he's not your uncle? If we're going to be traveling across the ocean for him, you'd think he'd be at least honest about that."
Yeah, Corvus, right before he speaks, you see that like that "he's not my uncle" thing really bothered the elf.
So, I'll go next. How's that? I'm Corvus. Let's just say I'm a thief. And many of us that work together didn't have traditional families. Does that make sense? So, like, some of us get nicknames, yeah? Like, he calls me cousin. It's just a thing. And it's not like deceptive. You know, we all have nicknames. I mean, that's deceptive, I guess, yeah, in a way. But, like, it's because who we were doesn't matter. You know, I'm just trusting that all of your names are what they really are. But, like, I don't care. What do you want me to call you?
So not a blood cousin, more of a proverbial trust cousin thing.
Yeah. I mean, if
Selenar definitely thinks this is weird, but he is also in a land of weird cultures and is very open-minded, so he's totally willing to accept it. It's just not what he originally, not his understanding of the word cousin, so is put off instantly.
Yeah, not literal cousins. You know, I might call someone in the guild my brother. You know, Ozo's not my sibling, but makes sense.
I can see it.
Okay, so you're up next, if you don't mind.
And Selenar, when he says guild, you immediately begin to understand a little bit more because you are a member of a guild.
Yes.
I don't know if that was explicitly stated, but it's gonna come up. It's part of. I mean, so I don't know if Corvus minds letting that slip, per se.
Yeah, Cash didn't mention anything about a guild. He just said that he was trying to build up burgeoning businesses in other places.
Okay, we'll let it lie, guild. But like, we're co-workers.
So you're asking what Selenar is good at, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to establish a value in a traveling band or whatever.
Correct.
Do you play any instruments, actually?
That's okay. We have that taken care of. The instrument playing is this guy's job.
This is not the place for a demonstration, but these two we traveled with, insert merchant's name here that we're going to pick up the rugs from, I forget.
I can't remember either.
Peter Huss.
Peter Huss. Okay.
We traveled with Huss for 2 weeks and fended off
Paul Huss. Sorry, Paul Huss.
several attacks of bandits along the way. Rest assured, we definitely have our value. Heavy sarcasm on the word value.
good to know that you didn't die on the road here.
He
but
can use magic.
Thank you. That's more what I was getting at. Magic, yeah.
How secret is magic in this world? Like, how... I sort of have been
Not
wondering this the
secret.
last couple of weeks, is like, so if Selenar were to say, I'm a druid of the water, is that like saying I'm a witch in Salem, or is that like something that you would just be open about?
So if like the first time you demonstrate your ability to magic, people are very impressed and very excited. People don't really understand what Druid of the Water means, but they understand that you're like a nature magic person. So they seem to have a grasping of magic. Yeah.
So I studied magic with the elves in the far north. I have my skills.
I'll be honest, I don't
Period.
really know anything about elves. Sorry. Is it safe to assume your magic is of natural inclination to like how do I put this?
Selenar's had a few drinks now, right? So I conjure a globe of water over his head and let it fall on him.
On me?
Yes. In the middle of the bar. I'm imagining Selenar has had 2 whiskeys by now and is not totally with it.
So Selenar summons this globe of water. Corvus, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy. Hey, surprisingly, I should be good at this.
Natural 1.
Honestly, that's what my first roll was in the last in the session 0. Did it not go?
It did. Oh, no.
But I don't see it.
There we go.
Am I do it again?
I don't see it anywhere. Yeah, so go ahead, make the dexterity save.
I'm like looking at my router to see if I've lost internet because everything. I tried to do it in just D&D Beyond and it didn't do it either.
It's okay, you got a nat 1.
So if I got a plus, saving throw is a D20 plus your modifier, right?
Yeah. So for you, it's a plus 7 to a D20.
I'll just roll a D20 in D&D Beyond and add the 7. 18 plus 7.
Great. There you go. Yeah. So you see this globe of water appear before you, and you see that it's about to burst, and you roll out of the way, very quickly avoiding the small deluge that would have occurred right where you are. A couple things that happen once this is done, Selenar. The drunk at the end of the bar stands up, and there's a crossbow trained on you, and the bartender has a scimitar in his hand.
Puts up his hand.
The bartender looks at you, nods, and the scimitar disappears, and the drunk is back to being a drunk.
I guess I should preface by saying we don't have to do demonstrations here. But noted.
Takes a breath, collects himself, sort of looks around, realizing that was stupid, and says, "Apologies, I am not used to proving my worth to your kind."
It's okay. It is perhaps a strange question. I'm merely assessing our team. Let's say that. And it's just water, right?
A reasonable precaution.
Last but not least, when I point at trying to learn the names here.
Lunine.
Lunine.
I mean, I Looney just kind of like points towards the swords on his back.
Okay. Noted. That's also a handy skill. So we have guitar, water, swords.
But when you this time, like when Looney actually makes direct eye contact with you, you notice that his eyes are like this opal, like the
Ooh.
irises.
Interesting. Can I, the risk of make any sort of extra perception check when that catches my eye?
Sure.
Let's see if this works. Yeah, it kind of works.
Yep.
A 7 though. That's the first one.
On a 7, you notice the eyes have that weird like opalescence to the iris, but otherwise you don't notice anything else. Although it adds up to the number of like non-human, non-elf things about this person, but still looks kind of elfish.
But the ears are also forked.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, like they have like a split at the top of them, and it has like 2 points with like a little V in it, more or less.
Weird.
Does that make sense?
I mean, we're all weird, but yes. Okay, when they finish, I'll like mental note these things. When they finish, I'll say, okay, I'll go next. I'm stealthy. Yeah. My main job with Cash is getting in and out of places without being seen. Non-hostile. Those sorts of missions. Okay. Reconnaissance.
Pacifist.
Unless needed otherwise, but that's not the missions that I specialize in. Yeah. It's about going in, getting information, maybe picking up something, and getting out. And studying my surroundings. Those are the kind of things that I am useful for. Okay, just so we're all on the same page. Ozo, if you don't mind finishing the icebreaker.
Uh,
Ozo has been working with me for some weeks now. But Ozo, go ahead and tell them, if you don't mind, what are you good at?
oh, I mean, I hit things, and I heal things. Sometimes.
Sorry, Corvus keeps a straight face. And there you go. That's why I don't have to.
You guys make a great team.
So far.
Sorry if that was uncomfortable. That's very useful for me. Anything I should note? Fears? Anything important you want to share with me now before we get into a tricky situation tomorrow?
Any fears? Any allergies? Any dietary restrictions?
I almost said that, but I was nuts. We all okay with nuts? Just kidding.
This is the first time we're hanging out with other people.
So you might have gotten the impression by now Corvus is not used to working with so many on a team.
Right. So Renata would just like point at Corvus, like, so a loner, and then point at Ozo, loner, and point to Selenar as like, haven't met anyone outside your own family, and then point to Lunine and be like, yeah, also loner.
It's a new campaign, bro. What do you want?
Well, at least for tomorrow.
New campaign. Who dis?
We won't be loners. So if we can all watch each other's back, make sure this mission is a success, and do what I say. I'm open to suggestions, but we'll get paid. Agreed?
I agree.
As long as we can get out of this dump.
Speaking of, do you have somewhere to stay tonight?
No, we've recently just arrived. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me check my notes here. I'm staying at some place.
Nope, you arrived this morning.
Do I
Okay.
have any hookups with... I mean, first of all, does the Sand Dollar have anywhere to stay?
The Sand Dollar is not an inn; it is but a tavern.
I didn't think so. Would I... I'm sure I would know of some... Like, do I have a hookup with the bartender who knows the inn owner, the next...
You've been in Mandarian for a while. You definitely have a few. You know of a few different establishments that could suffice for the evening. Just depends on how high class you want to go.
How much do you want to pay for tonight? I look at Renata when I say this.
Let's get the best.
Okay. I'll go to the bartender and I say... Oh, actually, would he even have anything to do with this? Or would I just...
No, it's stuff that you know.
Okay. Okay. Go to the insert the best here.
Yeah, you tell them to look for the Howling Steep.
Go to the Howling Steep. I'll give them directions. I
Mhm.
can go with you if you'd like. I know it's late. Tell them Corvus sent you. I don't know if that'll make a difference, but they'll make room for you.
You know the bar. You're not like first name with the owner kind of thing.
Okay, don't mention my name. They don't know me. But that's the best. That's the best in town. So see you at the docks in the morning.
Where are both of these?
Okay, and I'll do I have something to scribble on?
Yeah.
I don't think about this.
Yeah, so you give them directions to the Howling Steep. You also give them directions to a warehouse that they've already been to pick up the shipment of rugs in the morning. Because
Side note,
that's where you will meet them.
did we bring rugs with us this whole time?
Did you what?
Bring rugs the whole like were we traveling with rugs the whole time?
You don't know.
Okay. It would be humorous if it was the same stuff we were traveling with already.
It was the same guy that we were traveling with.
He was the same guy, but it was the same
Yeah,
goods.
Jeff's ruminating on whether it was rugs that he was transporting or not. Cool. So, is everybody going to the Howling Steep?
Yes.
I'm not. I have somewhere to sleep tonight.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have
May
to.
as well. Unless it's, I would definitely go there. If it is like a gold-plated, if it's the plaza, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would hesitate, but
Sure.
You're getting the best.
Following the directions given to you by Corvus, the three of you make your ways to the Howling Steep. And what you find is off on a fairly busy roadway. People are coming and going, and it seems to be a busy establishment. You see a 2-story stone-walled building with unusually high pointed ceilings, very like Western or Eastern Europe kind of Czech, maybe Polish kind of vibes. Like those high arched ceilings or peaks and roofs. Very much that kind of style.
Gothic architecture.
Yeah. It is. You hear rumors as you're walking about how this place is supposed to have the best beer and ale in all of town. You enter through the doorway, and it is well appointed. It's clean. It's busy. There's people at various tables. There are serving staff kind of going around from table to table, polishing empty ones, cleaning off ones, removing trays. There's this clatter of lively conversation. It seems like the bar is set in the center of the room, And then there is a little stage off to one side, and a like a raised balcony on the back of the room that seems to have tables as well as a few cots kind of set up on like this mezzanine area. So in this central bar, you see a somewhat older, half elvish woman, like just beginning to like show streaks of gray in her dark hair, wrinkles just barely creeping as crow's feet in her at the corners of her eyes. But yeah, she is there. So you enter. What would you like to do?
I again push Renato towards the bar.
Yeah, and I'll ask the barkeep about inquiring about rooms for tonight.
She turns to you. Yes, of course. How many rooms would you like for the evening?
And I'll turn to the group and say 3. And see if they approve of that number.
3 single rooms for the evening is 1 gold, 5 silver. It includes dinner and a cold breakfast.
Yeah, I'm sold.
I should say it includes a cold dinner and a cold breakfast, but if you want
Sold either way.
if you want hot food, it's extra. And drinks are extra. Is this amenable to you?
Fine. I'll
That's
take it as
fine.
is. Yes.
Very good.
I don't have a good concept of money, so I think I just okay.
You what?
Agree.
Okay.
Doesn't have a concept of money.
Oh.
Very good. And she puts out her hands for the money.
I flip a gold.
I
But I say, do you also nudge Renata?
No, I can pay for myself.
I would like to point out how Mike has gone from the least spoken character of Campaign 1 to possibly the most spoken character.
right.
He wanted to Bardlock, baby.
He said as much in one episode as Defect probably did. in-
The entire campaign, yeah.
So you all hand over the money. She says, 1 moment, and turns around. And as soon as she turns around, a massive dog jumps on the table and barks at all of you. And it's like a mastiff. It is huge. It's got a big head. It looks like a bear almost. And it is fuzzy and like gray and black streaks. She turns back around and says, "Cripple, down!" And drops back down. Sorry about that. Crimple is very protective and very affectionate, but harmless to people. But very good at barking loudly.
Cute dog.
He
Thank
is a good little thing, isn't he?
Like a giant bear.
Yes, kind of. He's a good boy. He's very well trained otherwise. He must have smelt something tasty on one of you, I suppose. Now, here are your rooms. You're in 14 through 17. They are on the 2nd floor. 14 through 16. Sorry,
I was gonna say, it's like that sounds like we got to charge an extra room.
It's a long
great.
day. It's been a long day. Do you know how many people come in here asking me for things? Anyway, here's your keys. You can figure it out for yourself. If you want
Can I
drinks, of course. Yes. What can I do for you?
I'm sorry. I ask one more thing.
Of course.
What are the chances of me, I don't know, performing a couple songs for the entertainment of your guests here?
You perform. You sing.
I perform. I play the guitar, and I whip the guitar around, play a couple notes. I don't ask for any payment, just a chance, an opportunity to play for these fine folks here.
You will play for free.
I'll play for free.
You see a little smile kicks up on her. Very well. Ugin is nothing if not magnanimous. You may take the stage at your leisure, huh?
Thank you.
What's the big dog doing while this happens?
The dog has just gone back to the floor behind the bar. You peek your head over and you see it's just like laying on the floor back there between Ugin's feet.
So disinterested?
Yep, just kind of taking its lot in life.
Okay.
But yeah. So you each have a key to a room. And you've been told, Renata, that you can hop on the stage as you wish.
Yeah.
Now, if you are wanting hot meals, you can take a seat. If you just want the cold meals, I will have the girl bring it to you at your room or in the bar.
Take a seat at a table.
In the bar would be lovely, and I go and take a seat to watch Renata make a fool of himself.
You're not going to give him guidance for this?
Yeah, you're not going to touch
his
the table. You're not going to rub my leg a little.
All right, so the two,
Encouragement for your big man.
Lunine and Selenar, plop down at a table. Renata, you drop your pack, and you can head on up to the stage.
I approach the stage. I'm a little bit off to this offside to it, and like you see Renata just like taking deep breaths and shaking his hands, kind of hopping from one foot to the other. And you can tell, if you're really paying attention, you can tell that he's nervous. But he takes one final breath, and then he steps onto the stage into the light. And he'll approach the middle, and he'll say, "Good evening, folks. I'm the one and only Renata Soul Angel."
Why should we care?
Woo! Tough crowd.
Right? Seriously?
The entire bar like laughs when you're heckled.
Renata doesn't know how to like combat that, so just ignore it, and we'll start playing a song.
Wonderful. Make a performance check, please.
Knowing my luck,
Please don't nat one this.
right?
I shouldn't have said anything. That was my bad. I owe you a beer, Mike.
I can't see it on my phone.
It's a natural one.
And that one.
One.
Hilarious. It wouldn't be D&D without it.
Next time I see it,
So, Renata, you hop on stage and make this declaration. You get a bit heckled, and everybody like laughs, and it throws you off. So you go to strum your guitar, and you overcompensate, and three of your strings, snap, 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 and fling and break off, and your string whips up, and like you get a little bit of a lash on your hand.
It dealt myself damage.
Not enough to like deal damage, but enough that it like stings.
Before.
bow now and act like it was all part of the joke.
So it stings both physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
Spiritually at this point.
Seriously, yeah.
Renata, when this happens, the tattoo on your hand, on the back of your hand, you feel it grow cold. Like that chill of disappointment.
By the way, I need to ask an important question. What hand do you drink with?
Right-handed, so.
Okay, canonically your tattoo is on your right hand. I just had to know.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So, what is the crowd just laughing at me? Or are they?
Yeah, it is. They laughed at the heckle, and then when your three strings broke, they just lost it. You hear there's there's all this like there's this guy in the back. Hey, yeah, you're a real pro. Way to break the strings, man. We're nada. More like no
Okay.
nada. And it's just heckling the whole time. Now, do you have other instruments?
His dulcet tones.
Actually, no. I'm versed in other instruments, but I only have the one.
You got your voice.
How
I
are
know
you with
how
a
to-
2-string guitar?
I know how to play a horn and I know how to play the lute, but
Okay. You can attempt to sing if you want to go a cappella.
no.
Or
Yeah,
like
well-
do stand up or something like that if you want to try, or you can
Or like
Stand up.
the Ashley Simpson dance, just kind of like awkwardly dance off stage. No, Renata will just will step down, head bent down. Will quickly walk by the table where Lunine and Selenar are eating and say, "I'll see you guys in the morning," and we'll just go upstairs.
As you walk by, there's always tomorrow. Like not in a douchey way.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to be supportive. Like,
I like the clarification.
Guidance would have not helped that.
No.
It's gonna sound douchey, but it's not in a douchey way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Selenar is much more charismatic than Jeff is. So in a non-douchey way, man, it's all right. You're never gonna see these people again. Fuck them.
So luckily, once I'm in my room, luckily I have the cantrip mending, so I'll fix my guitar.
Oh, that's
And
clever.
then I'll
Actually,
just-
that's really clever.
You could have done that on stage, but okay. All right, so you.
Well, too late now.
Yep, you mend
You
the
needed to
strings.
anime style walk away in shame.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's
Mhm.
thematic with him.
We have to add to the saga.
This is part of the story arc.
yeah.
That's right.
for Renata.
Very good.
Like, yeah, it's a
Do
start.
you come back down to try again?
And for
Nope.
some reason, without
Nope, I am.
without any knowledge of why, you can only think of rocks at this moment and how to throw them.
I will also actually before I go up to the room, if I'm walking by the bar, I'll tell Ugin, is it?
Yep, Ugin.
Yeah, I'll just quickly apologize embarrassingly. It's like, I'm sorry.
She looks at you for a minute and says, "That was very embarrassing for you," and then passes over a small shot glass. But you probably could use this.
Yeah, I'll take the shot.
It
I'll down it real quick, and then I'll ask for another one and give her the coin for it.
yeah, it's 3 silver for the shot.
Cool.
She pours you a second one. Says, "It's going to be that kind of night."
Maybe. And then that's when I'll go upstairs and,
Yeah.
To the room, past mending.
Yeah,
just quietly
it's like
on my
a
bed,
Bernie
get dark,
clear liquor, like a
lighting.
vodka or something. So, but like spice, it's like a cinnamon vodka.
Ooh.
Fireball
The-
with vodka?
Does the icy chill on my tattoo, does it linger for a long time, or is it just like a quick thing?
It was a quick thing.
Okay.
But once you cast the mending, like the magic still works, so that's good. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's it for Renata tonight.
Okay. So Renata departs, leaving Selenar and Lunine here in the bar. The serving person comes by. It's this young guy, probably like human, early 20s, sort of. Fairly skinny, wearing modest clothing. says, "Hello. Hot food this evening, or are you staying at the inn and having the inn meal?"
What are you serving?
Well, our specialty is our salted duck and leeks. It's quite well liked by everybody. It's
In meal is sufficient for me, thank you.
one in meal, no problem. If you've already got a room, it does take a bit off the price.
We're staying here, so I guess the duck.
Good choice. I'll bring those right out. The duck, since you already paid, instead of 3 gold, instead of 2 gold, the duck's only going to be 1 gold and 2 silver.
I'll give him 1 gold, 5 silver.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. I'll be right back with your meals. And he scampers off. And a short while later, comes back with a bowl of like cold porridge that is topped with like sautéed like cut vegetables and some cold preserved meats and cheeses. Kind of, that's the cold meal. And then comes back a minute or two later with a steaming plate of duck sitting on a bed of leeks. It's like half a duck, essentially.
Do I know what a duck is?
You know what a duck is, yeah.
Okay.
You know what a duck is.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know what's.
You've got ducks, or at least something close enough from where you're from.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like half a duck on this like bed of leeks. The duck appears to have like flakes of some kind of like salt probably on it. And it's like the skin looks like crispy and speckled. You cut into it and the meat is like perfectly cooked. It's like got that nice like red in the middle. And the leeks are charred with like salt and pepper and some kind of like red thing, like maybe a chili, and like oiled and like grilled like with the duck, so like all the flavors like complement each other really well. It's tasty. And the porridge with vegetables and like essentially deli meats is, you know, fine.
It's cold.
It's cold.
Totally serviceable. So during this time where it's just Selenar and Ludine at the table, how do you feel about our Mateo's character?
Corvus.
Corvus.
My laptop died, so I don't have my notes out anymore. How do you feel about Corvus and the mouth of Sauron guy?
Cash.
Yeah.
Since it's just you and Lunine, he switches to Elvish. And indifferent towards Corvus. I haven't met many, I guess, aside from the people on the road, I guess, humans. Cash is unsettling.
Like, I rolled an insight check on Cash, and like I know from a metagaming point of view he's sketchy, but does Selenar feel that way about him?
No, like he didn't lie to you. He didn't dissemble. He wasn't like being vindictive in any way. Like his presence, like his physicality was probably a little unnerving, but his personality was very pleasant and personable.
His appearance is off-putting at first, but I found a reason to distrust him. This is all in Elvish. Every time Selenar has the opportunity to speak in Elvish, he would do so.
I don't know. There's something different Would I get a sense that there's something like vaguely familiar, not like knowing him per se, but like a vibe, like some sort of familiarity, in a way,
Make an Arcana check.
just from like both his behavior and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Well, actually, make either Arcana, make either an Arcana or History check. Your choice.
Selenar's trained in both. Should he be making that too?
No, just Lunine, because this applies for him.
19.
19.
History.
Yes. Definitely having interacted with Cash, his bearing, his speech, and just the way he seemed to know things reminded you of stories that you heard in your training, when you were discussing potential enemies and allies, learning about different entities that exist in your home, and you heard about or were instructed about groups of individuals who tend to prefer the darkness and live in the shadows and cause mischief and thieve by a matter of cultural pride, and they could be quite dangerous when they felt threatened or when they had missions to engage in. He doesn't quite match. He's much taller and much bigger and much more like human than the creatures you described, because what the creatures that you were taught of were short, like the size of a halfling or a gnome maybe, and like bent and crooked, and like scaly skin, but gray in the way that his was gray, with massive eyes, and you think they're called darklings, but Cash was much too tall for that. But definitely something of home rings true when you think about Cash. Like, he's got knowledge, you think, at least.
I don't know how to put it. It's very reminiscent of something that I've somewhat grown up with, at least hearing of. Behaviors are somewhat matching a bit of the appearance, but at the same time not. I mean, he hasn't necessarily given a direct reason to be untrustworthy, but at the same time, I wouldn't put too much. I would keep him at an arm's length if I could.
Would you extend the same towards Corvus and Ozo as well? Just by association, I would assume that they would be uncomfortable to you.
Corvus is a bit. I mean, they are familiar with each other, so I would say that I would also watch myself around him a bit, at least for now. Ozo seems like they're somewhere else.
Quiet to me.
Ozo's like...
That's okay though. I'm happy to take the boat at least to, what was the city called?
Cliffside.
Cliffside. I'm happy to take the ship at least to Cliffside, and we have no commitment past then. I don't see any reason to say no for now.
Of course, I mean, again, they haven't given a direct reason to be untrustworthy. It's just a feeling.
Your caution is taken under advisement for sure.
I don't feel like they're gonna directly stab us in the back, but yeah, just
Neither do I don't get that feeling either.
Yeah, just
But I'll keep an eye over both of our shoulders when we're around them.
yeah, and maybe keep some of your personal things closer to your chest.
The man did literally tell me he was a thief. or tell us to our face.
Well, at least you know to watch a coin purse. But that being said, it'd be interesting. I'm just happy to get out of here soon.
And so we leave behind these two individuals finishing their dinner and slap back to the Sand Dollar with Corvus and Ozo. The others have left. What are you two going to do now that the rest of your party has made their way to the Howling Steep?
Okay, so here's how we're gonna kill each and every one of them. I'm just kidding.
Oh, is that necessary?
No, I'm joking. I suppose we should get some rest ourselves. I would be lying if I said I'm a little anxious about tomorrow. Up until our last mission, 2 is the maximum number in my party, and now we've doubled it. So I think I need to go home and try to force myself to sleep.
Okay.
How do you
I
feel?
have to go home and take care of some things.
Okay. How do you feel about this bunch? Just out of curiosity.
I think they don't know what to think.
Like it's their first time, huh?
I don't always know what to think. They're trying.
Well, we all are. I just have to perhaps make it look like I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah. Should I know anything? I'll just follow your lead.
Yeah. And Corvus hesitates a little bit. He's trying to determine how much he's going to tell Ozo. How long have Ozo and I have been working together for some weeks now, right?
Yeah, a little over a month.
Listen, Ozo, I need someone tomorrow that I know I can trust. We're delivering these rugs. But Cash is also trying to determine the strength of the loyalty of the Thieves Guild in Cliffside. We might have to be creative in how we determine their allegiance without expressing so forwardly where our loyalties lie. Does that make sense?
We have to lie and tell Cash what he wants to know.
No. We may have to be subtle in how to get the information Cash wants to know from the guild leader in Cliffside. If we go over there telling him that we are acting directly for cash, it may be a bit too on the nose, and he'll tell us whatever we want to hear. Cash wants to know what is really happening. He suspects that the leader isn't so loyal, and if that is the case, then he's entrusted me to make a decision what we should do about it. You know me, I don't prefer the violent route. And I don't know what our new friends will think about that either, but we will have to do whatever is necessary to make all of this job a success. Can I count on you for that?
Well, I suppose if that's how it has to go, and we're trying to keep things balanced. Okay.
I hope if things get dirty, we can use intimidation more than actual physical persuasion. But I know where your skills lie in that regard. So if we have to get our hands dirty, we will. I'm just saying. I want to make this clean. I don't want this to be a bad job.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll figure out how to disclose this to the rest of them when the time comes. But for now, let's keep it to ourselves, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ozo. Did you need a hand with anything, whatever you're taking care of, or you got it?
No, I have to visit.
Okay. Your grandmother?
The neighborhood.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go home. I think by now you know where to find me if you need me.
Okay.
I'll see you in the morning. Yeah?
Yes.
All right. Corpus is gonna, I guess, leave. We don't have any bar tabs to clear. It's all been on Cash's name, right?
Okay.
For the most part. So, you return to your domicile, Corvus. It is a small room that you rent for practically nothing. It's. You tell me. Do you think you have a lot of keepsakes, or is it pretty much just bare bones stuff?
I think it's bare bones stuff. I mean, my previous domicile didn't have much in the way of shelves, if we'll put it that way. But perhaps I have collected a few trinkets and things that I'll probably just keep in a box. So, it's easy to move if I have to. I think I haven't shaken this sort of mentality that nowhere is permanent. So why set up a big to do?
Yeah. As you're kind of going through things, packing what you may need for the next few days or weeks on this adventure, your hand drifts to one of your oldest little keepsakes, which is a small chip of stone, rounded corner. It's about that big, and you know what it is. It is a piece of a gravestone that you used to hang out with, and it is cold to the touch, as it usually is. It warms in your hand like normal, but for some reason tonight it feels significant. And you go about your evening. Ozo, you return to where you are staying in your little room. What do we find Ozo up to at this station of the evening?
Ozo is going to make the rounds of the neighborhood. Couple of whoever is coughing, sick, whatever. I like to imagine the whiskey gets given to some old person with a cough. Like, here, have that. You'll like that. Just quiet, like looking weird, saying little.
Yeah, this old human
until they
man
get back to their tiny
drinks
room.
it and goes, "Woo, that cleared me up good. Thanks, thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Woo. Oh, wow. Oh, that was rough stuff, but I breathe again."
Hey, good.
Yeah.
Keeps walking. And then, yeah, we get back to Ozo's little room. It's very spare. There's a couple of vials and baggies and things, and a little stand for the mask. Ozo takes it off and just lays down on the little cot.
Is Ozo scarred underneath that mask?
You don't know.
You use your little steed.
You're not there to know yet.
Do 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 do. And Ozo pulls out this little book and just reads quietly, laying on their back. And then the candle gets halfway done, close the book, put it out, close their eyes.
As you drift off to sleep, you swear you see a shimmering form laying down next to you, pale, translucent, out of the corner of your eye, and you shift your vision, and in that moment of shifting your vision, whatever it was that may or may not have been there is gone. Whether it was a trick of the light or something else. It instills in you the feeling it usually does. Whenever you catch these glimpses of things, they are significant in your life. As beginnings and endings and pathways that are chosen. It's significant to you.
Cool.
Selenar, you finish up your meal at the Howling Steeps. Do you retire to your room, or do you stay up and observe, or what do you do with the rest of your evening? Selenar? We may have lost.
Sorry, muted myself.
Oh, there you are. No worries.
No, after having the chat with the other dude that I forget his name already.
Lunine.
Lunine. Oh, yeah. After Lunine and Selenar have their talk about from before, just about how we feel about everything, but we both agree that it's a good idea to go along with it, at least for now. Retire, for sure.
Okay.
Not interested in staying up and watching whatever happens.
Cool.
Let's go and meditate or whatever.
Yeah, you retire to your room and enter your meditative trance-like states. And as you do so, you can't help but, even though you're not like in the water, you feel the connection of the Divide River. This is the same river that you grew up near, except this is the end of it. This is where that powerful force enters the sea, enters the ocean through this place called Triangle Bay that you have not yet laid eyes upon. But
yeah, when Selenar is excited to go out on a ship farther than just a couple hundred yards from shore,
Mm-hmm.
He's never been on a real seaworthy vessel to go to the other side of the river, so he's excited about it.
Yeah, and that feeling of excitement, I think, strengthens your connection to that river, because the river's been there your whole life, and this is the first time that you are going beyond it in significant ways. Like, even your travels down from the Verdentious Causeway to Mendarian here, the river's been close for the most part. Like, you maybe have gone a few miles away and veered off by a little bit, but you always knew where it was. And now you are going to a place where the river no longer exists. And it is exciting, and also I think there's a little bit of something else there.
Trepidation?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, it's up to you. But this constant that has been in your life, and a significant portion of it, is not going to be the same anymore. There's semantics and arguing on if the river meets the sea, is it still the river? Is it now the sea? Or is it both? Or is it neither? You know, there's all these philosophical questions that you can ponder at your leisure. But it is a significant moment for you in your journeys and desires that you have for yourself. And I don't think that any of that is lost on Selenar at this time.
And I suppose that's true for, like, I don't know if I knew anyone else in my village that felt that connection, but I don't think any elves have been away from the river too far, you know?
The
interesting-
Verdentious Causeway is a very large place. So there are some elves who have never seen the river in their life, back where you live, or back where you're from. But there's also a lot that never see anything else. You are unique in the strength of your connection to the river, but there are others who share a similar connection with other aspects of the causeway.
It will be interesting and exciting to explore.
Yeah. And I think as you drift into your trance-like state, these are the things that you focus on. Lunine, you see Selenar retires. Do you follow suit, or do you hang out at the bar for a bit?
Lunine's just going to stay up just a little bit longer, and just kind of like observe, people in the bar talking.
Yeah, the serving.
More or less.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
More or less trying to like his new, like this new area, this new world, this like how people are interacting, and if there's new customs, stuff like that.
Yeah, looking around, it is different. There is a relaxation here that is different than ones from home. There is not a military rigidity or discipline that you're used to. And you have seen people who you would qualify as like drudges, but no one here is being treated that way. Even the serving staff is being treated as, they're being treated as like people. They're not being treated as servants. It seems to be a different distinction. And people are laughing and breaking out into song from time to time, especially closer to the bar. Not too long after Selenar leaves, the serving lad, or young man, the server comes by and gathers the finished plates, and looks at you and says, "Is there anything else I can help you with, sir?"
No. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. My name's Kyle. If you have any questions or need anything, you were very generous, so I'm happy to help. You certainly are a unique patron, so if you have any questions, happy to help out. Thank you, sir. And he takes the dishes and takes them back to a kitchen, presumably, stopping to get a few more drink orders on the way. And you see he and there's another serving girl, young woman, who seems to be slightly different. She has a much darker skin tone, and like multiple tattoos that seem to run up one arm. And in a weird way, she's the only real word you can put a finger on it is bubbly, which is not something you've probably seen too much of. Kind of reminds you of Renata, but more so. But her interactions, she laughs with everyone whose table she works at. She puts a hand on a shoulder. Whereas the young man is a little more professional, less friendly, but they both seem to be well liked by those they interact with. You see that Ugin is constantly surveying her realm, and her drink dispensing skills are quick, and nobody at the bar seems to be without a beverage for more than a moment, as long as they are still interested in drinking. Every so often, Crimple comes out or walks around the bar or does a little bark or woof or sniffs someone to get a pat or steals a bit of food off of a abandoned plate. But it seems to be a very enjoyable atmosphere here. Very relaxed.
Yeah, just like kind of survey it a bit, get a... Yeah, I would say like a feel for how people treat each other. I mean, kind of just retire to his room and kind of thinking, I guess, more or less.
Yeah. As you retire and you think about these things, you realize this is a very different world. It is not a world, at least this place that you're in now, this circumstance that you're in now, is not one of rank and echelon. It sounds, from what you've heard, like these things do exist here, but in this environment that you're currently in, it doesn't seem to be the case amongst your group of comrades. Although it sounds like this Corvus will be assuming the rank of leader for your mission, which you have agreed to per your contract. And as these things kind of run through your mind, you've been here a few weeks now. You eventually drift off to sleep. And as you do, you dream of something growing. You're not sure what it is, but it is alive and strange, but familiar to you. You don't know exactly what it is, but it feels like a heartbeat. And it becomes, from a barren nothingness, a lush bit of undergrowth, like all those plants that intertwine at the bottom of a forest floor. And then sprouts shoot up, and trees grow and bend and gnarl and twist together. And out from all this forest growth, you see figures. You see 5 figures. Different heights, different builds, standing in a clearing, facing off against a force that you cannot see. But it appears to be one that's familiar in a way. And you know that something inside of you has put you here to stand amongst these 5 figures and join their side, and that it matters. And you reach up to scratch your ear, and you feel that earring, that silver teardrop, hanging off your ear. And you dream. Renata.
Yeah.
You eventually you're in your room. You have repaired your guitar. You do a little strummy, and eventually you retire for the evening, or do you do anything else?
Yeah, Renata, there's like a little fire burning inside him, so he can spends a little more time just making and writing music and trying to find the right notes and thinking if this will be the one that is popular or if this is going to be catchy or not. So he's a little bit busy at work. He'll probably retire once his fingers get really calloused and sore.
Yeah. As you are jotting down notes, there's like a pitcher of water and like an ewer, like a basin, in your room that's provided, and you hear from the ewer kind of an echoing voice. Hey kid, pour some water in the bowl.
Renata is just like, oh man, I'm getting really tired because I thought I heard a voice.
No, really, pour the water in the bowl.
I get up from the bed and pour water into the bowl.
Yeah. You pour water in, and as you do, the water kind of shimmers, and it doesn't become a mirror, but it becomes mirror-like. And you see your manager in the bowl. Hey, kid. Hey, sorry about that. Rough go of a performance. Hard to deal with a new crowd. But I could tell it was really pumping your fires, and that's what I'm here to encourage you. You got to take this bit of failure and use it and focus it. Write that song, write that limerick. You know, I have utter faith in you. I know you've got the talent. So here, I'm going to tell you a few things, right? Number one, if somebody heckles you, you got 2 choices. You can ignore them, which you did, and I respect that. Or you can heckle them back. If you're not confident enough to heckle them back, don't even bother. Just ignore them. I think you did the right call. We're here, we're working. Just think of these as your growing pains, right? These are your dues you're paying. Don't worry about it. I know that you're going to be great. And hey, you repaired the strings, right?
Yeah, with a spell. So
yeah,
back to
useful.
Original.
Right. So here, kid, look, we've got a good thing going. You've got a good thing going. I think that what we need to do is we need to work on your self-confidence here, because I can tell there's a little ding in that armor today. But you know, it's going to be fine. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to practice. We're going to practice. We're going to practice. You know, every moment you're not doing something else, take out that guitar, strum a little bit, write a little music, hum a little ditty, you know, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Stand up and let people know that you are here. You know, that Renata Soul Angel line, it's a good line, but you got to commit to the bit. Commit to it. Accept it. Believe it yourself. Let them know that you are the one and only. It's all about you, baby. You're the original. Never forget it. And you see the face under that wide-brimmed white hat kind of wink at you. Now, You think you got the confidence? Do you think you can build yourself up from this? I think you can recover. What do you say, buddy?
Yeah, I got this. I'm working on stuff, writing it
Great.
down, playing it around.
Great. I'm sure it's going to be good.
Tonight was just a one-off.
Exactly. That's the attitude. Don't worry about it. Hey, we're going to make you a star, baby. We're going to make you a star. Huh? That's the deal.
Thanks. Thanks, manager.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to manage your success. I'm here to
Do I
manage
just
your
call you the manager, or
Yeah, just call me your manager. That's
Yeah,
fine.
you have another name I call you by?
Oh, I've got millions of them. But you can just call me manager. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I'm calling you Renata. You call me manager. It's all good, baby.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Of course. Hey, who's the best?
If there's a mirror nearby, I'll look up at the mirror and I'm the best.
What? Say it again. I didn't quite catch that.
I'm the best.
That's right. That's the job, kid. All right, I gotta go. Keep up the good work. Nothing but love to you. Bye. And the water becomes water again. And your manager has left the building. And you settle down. You finish up your work. You settle in for the night. And as each one of you sinks to sleep, closes your eyes, and leaves the world of consciousness, that is where we will end tonight's first session of Nuuli Forged. So,
All right.
well done, everybody.
Campaign 2.
Good job. Campaign 2 is off to a rousing start with quite the cast of characters, huh?
That's for sure.
Yeah.
It'll
Bunch
work.
of misfits.
somehow, I'm sure.
I feel like we've got
It's a group of whatevers.
The
Yeah, I
ragtag
think we've
band
got-
of whatever.
half of us are goth and half of us are glam.
Yeah. It's a wonderful mix. I think y'all are great. Fantastic characters with all sorts of intrigue and mystery right off the bat. Woof.
Bum bum bum.
Everyone's got a secret.
Everybody got a secret. It's crazy. Thank you all for joining us this evening. I'd like to give special shout outs to NYZ Zombie for subscribing, Tacos and Mashu for giving us a follow and being active in the chat. Thank you so much. Chewy Tanuki, thank you for the follow. And Haley Stoker, thank you as well. And Silver Sora Zero, I see you there. How you doing? Nice to see you. Silver Sora, thank you for the follow as well. Thank you so much for the follows. And a big, huge shout out to Ives Got It, our moderator, who I saw the banhammer going. I saw the bots coming in. So thank you, Ives Got It. Best mod on Twitch. And we hope you've all enjoyed it. We're going to do a quick round of goodbyes. And then I will figure out who we're going to raid. And that'll be it. We'll leave you be. And that's all. Let's start our round of goodbyes with our newest member, Renata. Sorry, not Renata. Selenar. God. Sorry, I have the active but not visual thing up. So Renata, please say goodbye.
I mean, so what?
You mean Selenar or me?
God damn it!
You did it twice.
I did it twice in a row.
Okay, first game.
First game. Selenar, please get me out of this hole I've dug myself in.
I've been getting you out of holes you dug yourself in for, 20 years?
Yeah, it's been a while.
All right. Bye. It's really dark here, as you can tell. I turned my camera on. It's fucking black.
Oh, wild.
Hey to the fellow campers.
There is a fire, sort of.
That looks so nice.
Nice.
Alright. Yeah.
It is. You should come up. We're here till Saturday.
Nice.
Some of y'all are close-ish.
We're at Rogers Rock. It's on the north end of Lake George, about 3 hours north of the city.
Gotcha.
Very cool. Very cool.
So,
All right. Cool. Well, thank you, Jeff. Next up, we've got the real Renata Soul Angel.
Yes, the one and only. Thank you guys for watching the start of season 2. Catch us next week, Tuesday, for episode 2 of season 2.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Going on up to Ozo.
Hey. I'm Amber, and I'm playing Ozo. That's what I'm doing. Thanks for watching. Follow, like, subscribe, do the doing. If this was funny and you haven't seen Campaign 1, go check that out on YouTube's. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. And Lunine.
Thanks for watching the ragtag band of whatevers.
Is that the working name?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, the first one we were Grig and the Misfits, so I feel like ragtag band of whatevers kind of goes with the shtick.
I'll work on a super edgy name for next week that we can just pick our favorite.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, we'll see you next week and have fun. Yeah, as Amber said, go watch our 4 years worth of games. I expect a report.
Binge watch.
Wonderful.
And now for something completely different.
Yep.
There's a few of those episodes I need to see.
It's
funny
a
'cause
vibe.
it's true.
It's a vibe. Well, thank you so much, Tanner. And Corvus.
Hello, I am Matt. I've been playing Corvus and still trying to figure him out and this new campaign. So we've gone to another side of the coin, so to speak, in terms of characters. Very different from Spoot, but yeah. If so far so good, come back next week and we'll keep doing it.
Great.
Whether you like it or not.
Thank
We're doing
you.
it.
Thank you.
So much. And I have been Jared, your humble dungeon master here on Nuuli Forged. Thank you once again, everybody, for hopping in and joining us this evening. We're going to raid Magi RPG. They're playing some Blades in the Dark tonight. It's their series finale. So hop in this raid, let them know that they've been newly raided, and we will see you here on Nuuli Forged on Tuesday, the 30th at 7 p.m. For episode 2 of Campaign 2 right here. And we'll see you that time. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you everybody who followed, subscribed, hung out in the chat, lurked, whatever. Thank you all so much. And have a wonderful night. And we will see you next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.
Night-night. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.